Hi students, once again this is Sir Polly from the Department of Political Science. Well, I'm sure you're all keeping fine and safe at home. In the last few videos, we have been learning some topics from the 4th chapter, that is the new centers of power in the world. We have learned so far 2 new centers. The first was European Union and the second XII. Now we shall learn another 2 organizations in the world that are capable of acting as new centers of power in the world. The third one, that is SAARC, South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation. South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation. Like the European Union and the ASEAN, SAARC is also another organization formed by South Asian countries. It was formed by 8 South Asian countries. Which are those 8 countries? First one is Afghanistan, second is Bangladesh, third Bhutan, fourth India, fifth Maldives, sixth Nepal, 7 Pakistan, and 8 Sri Lanka. These 8 states of South Asia joined and formed an organization called SAARC. It was formed on 8 December in 1985. 8 December 1985. It was formed in Dhaka in Bangladesh. Its secretariat is in Kathmandu, Nepal. So its secretariat is in Kathmandu, that is in Nepal. So this is how the SAARC was formed. It is basically an organization of South Asian nations, and India is also a member of this organization. It was formed for what purpose? Like the other organizations, it was formed for basically to promote development, socio-economic development in the region, in the South Asian region, and also to have regional integration. These were the purpose of SAARC. Fine. Now we shall look at some of its strength of SAARC. SAARC region occupies nearly 3% of the area of the world. It has nearly 21% of the population of the world, and it has the combined economy of 4.2% of the world economy. It was basically formed to have socio-economic cooperation among the members of South Asia, mainly these 8 countries. They also formed a thing known as SAFTA, the full form of that, South Asian Free Trade Area. South Asian Free Trade Area. It was formed in 2006. It was formed so that all these members of SAARC can have free trade in South Asia. All the trade barriers will be removed, and they can go and have free trade, and they can have economic development in the region. But unfortunately, these are not working properly because of some issues, especially between India and Pakistan. Both India and Pakistan are members of this SAARC, and they are not going well. And because of this problem, this organization SAARC is not developed as expected. Otherwise, it could have been developed into a very, very powerful organization, because It has got great population, a big market. Both of its members, India and Pakistan, are the nuclear powers. They are fast growing economy, and if the little problems that they have, if they can settle, no doubt SAARC can grow and develop as a new center of power in the world. Fine, that is the third organization that is coming up as new center of power in the world. We shall go to the fourth center of power in the world. That is also comes under an organization, and that is BRICS. BRICS. What is this BRICS? It is an organization formed by B for Brazil, R for Russia, I for India, and C for China, and S for South Africa. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These 5 countries together form an organization called BRICS. Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. It was formed in 2006 in Russia. Initially, South Africa was not its member, and it was actually known as only BRIC. S was not there, only BRIC. South Africa joined in 2009, and then the name changed into BRICS, BRICS, with 5 members. The last one, South Africa. Well, it was established in 2006 in Russia. This is another very powerful organization that is growing and developing as new center of power in the world. If you look at its strength, it has got a population of 3 billion people, which comprises nearly 42% of the world population. Imagine, 42% of the world population are there in the BRICS. It has 23.5% of the world economy and 16.28% of the global trade. So economically, BRICS is a very, very strong organization. It has got a very big market, it has got very fast growing economy, and their share in the world market is also very, very big. Militarily, also it is very, very strong. Russia, for example, one of the most powerful countries in the world. It is a nuclear power. India is also a nuclear power. China is also a nuclear. 3 of its members, Russia, India, and China, are nuclear powers. And both Russia and China are the permanent members of the UN Security Council. And India is a fast growing economy in the world. So, if you look at all these things, BRICS can, without any doubt, be a new center of power in the world. It has got all the potential to be a very powerful organization in the world, and it can compete with the existing power that is the US. Well, my dear boys and girls, before I wind up, let me rewind the topics that we have learned through this video. We are learning 2 topics today. One is SAARC, South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation, which is formed by 8 countries of South Asia. The next one we have seen BRICS. It is an organization formed by 5 countries: Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. And all these organizations are capable of acting as new centers of power in the world. Well, my dear boys, in the next video, I'll be explaining to you about the states that are coming up as new centers of power in the world. Now, we shall see some of the states, important states that is coming up as new centers of power in the world. And in your syllabus, there are 4 states you have to learn, and these 4 states are: number 1 is Russia, number 2 is China, Number 3 is India, and the 4th one is Israel. So, my dear boys and girls, get ready. We shall learn these 4 countries in details, how powerful they are, or whether they can act as new centers of power in the world in brief. First, let us see Russia. As you all know, Russia was part of the previous USSR, the Soviet Union. It was the largest state of the USSR. And after the disintegration, Russia became a separate country. It was divided into 15 countries. Russia became one of them, and Russia became the member of the UNO. It is a very big country, and it is one of the most powerful countries in the world next to the US. Economically, militarily, and culturally, in every aspect, Russia is a very, very, very powerful country. It is a nuclear power. It is a permanent member of the UN Security Council. It has got great influence in almost all the international organizations such as World Trade Organization, World Bank, IMF, and so on. It has got great influence across the globe in almost all the continents. So if you look at all that, Russia, no doubt, is growing and is an alternative center of power in the world. And it is having the potential to be a new center of power in the world. That is Russia. Coming to China. China, one of our neighbors. It was a British colony. It got its independence in 1949. People's Republic of China was formed in 1949. After it got independence, it followed socialist policy like the USSR. The economy was centralized. All the means and production was owned by the government. A planned economy was followed like the USSR. But, like the USSR, China did not develop as expected. Economy became stagnant. And so, by 1970s, the Chinese leaders decided to make some reforms in the economy. The Chinese leader, Deng Xiaoping, declared open door policy in 1978, by which they gave permission for foreign investment. Industries were privatized, agriculture was privatized, and very soon China grew into a developed nation. China today is fast growing economy in the world. It is the largest populous country in the world. It is having the biggest market in the world, and in every field, in industries, it is growing as a world power. They say by 2040, China will overtake the US in economy. So, looking at all this, China is also a permanent member of the UN Security Council. It is also a nuclear power. It has got great influence not only in Asia, as well, in other continents as well. So, by looking at all this, China, no doubt, is growing as a new center of power in the world. Now we shall get into next country, India, our country. India is the second largest populous country in the world. It is the largest democracy in the world, and it is one of the fastest growing economy in the world as well. It is also a nuclear power, and comparing to previous years, Indian economy is growing much faster than many of the countries in the world. Economically, militarily, culturally, in every aspect, India is growing and developing and is having the potential to be another new center of power in the world. Coming to next country, the last state in the world is Israel. It's a very, very small country if you look in the map. A West Asian country, but one of the fast, dynamic, developing country in the world is Israel. In every field, defense, industry, innovation, agriculture, in every field, Israel is fast growing and has the potential to be a new center of power in the world. So my dear boys and girls, I'm going to wind up this session, and the new chapter, that is chapter 4, the new centers of power in the world. In the previous videos we have learned the 4 organizations: European Union, ASEAN, SAARC and BRICS. And through this video we have learned in brief the 4 countries, the 4 states growing as new centers of power in the world. And those 4 states are Russia, China, India and Israel. These are the new centers of power that's coming up in the world politics. Well, my dear boys and girls, that's all I have to say. Thank you so much. Stay home, stay safe, and don't forget, keep learning.